Good afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world. Happy Friday and Happy New Year. I think I can say that, right? We're still in the first week of January. So I think I'm allowed to still wish you a Happy New Year. There shouldn't be any eyes rolling just yet in the first week of January as I'm wishing you some Happy New Year resolutions today. So I am going to talk to you today about how you can set yourself up for success in 2019 simply by setting yourself the right goals. Of course, New Year is a new lease of energy, beginning of a whole 12 months where we're going to be thinking about, what is it that I want to achieve this year? And by the time that we get to the end of that year, we want to be able to review our time back and think, yeah, I did this, this, and this, and this, and these are the things that were important to me, and I set out to do them, and I achieve them, because we want to win in life, right? We don't want to fail. No one sets out to fail. And interestingly enough, when it comes to New Year's resolutions, it is the same as any goal setting. But when it comes to New Year's resolutions, we don't make the right choices. We kind of pull things from almost like from thin air. They seem like a great thing at the time, and 1 month later we've forgotten about them, and then we never achieve them. Or maybe there's just not the right structure in place. Maybe they did mean something to us, but we just didn't have the right structure in place of how we're going to get ourselves there, how we're going to be able to achieve that goal. So I want to be able to share with you in this Facebook Live how you can set yourself up for success, how you can achieve the things that are important to you in terms of goals. And it comes down to the way that you're setting those goals, nothing else. If you don't set your goals right at the beginning, then how are you going to be able to set yourself up to succeed with achieving the things that you want to achieve? Impossible, right? You've got to have the right structure, the right framework in place. So I posted earlier in the week a 6-step formula for you to be able to think about what your goals are going to be for this year. Hi, Barbara. Hi, Chris. Thanks for joining. And I wrote that down in one of the posts earlier in the week, so you can read through that. And I'm gonna recap on some of those things and give you a little added bonus at the end as well about how you can continue once you've got your set goals, work towards them, because the work doesn't stop there. You know, most of us fail. We fail by February when we set our New Year's resolutions in January. Isn't that amazing? I'm just like, February, 1 month. 1 month and we failed already. A month is not a very long time, and there wasn't enough motivation, there wasn't enough determination for people to stick to their guns and carry on through. And there's many different reasons why people don't reach the goals that they set, why they fail or they miss their target. The two main ones that I come across is that there isn't enough meaning in the goal in the first place, so that people to be motivated to reach those goals, and also that the structure, there's a lack of structure. You know, you can't just set a goal and think, hey, I'm gonna become a successful entrepreneur by the end of the year with X amount of revenue, or whatever your goal is, without actually having an actionable plan in place to get there. That's just wishful thinking. You're just like, oh, I want this to happen, and hoping that it was just going to materially happen. I mean, I'm all for the law of attraction, but we have to take steps to get there once we've kind of put our intention and thrown it out there to the universe. So the 6 steps that I spoke about earlier in the week, the first couple really are about getting yourself in the right headspace. Now, environment is very important when you're doing something like this, because don't forget, one of the main reasons that people fail at their goals, there isn't enough meaning. So that means that most people are choosing goals that actually don't mean anything to them. There's no emotional connection to them. So how are they going to be motivated to achieve them? So you've got to be in the right headspace to know intuitively what resonates with you. What is that you are going to stick by through thick and thin, because there are going to be some bumpy times on some of these goals, especially the longer term ones, especially if it's something completely new territory to you. There is going to be a bit of a bumpy ride, and your why and your meaning really needs to be strong so that you stick by it. So I want you to be in a mindful space. I want you to be in a reflective space. So that means no distractions. Yes, no people that are going to interrupt you and distract you. No handphones or devices with emails popping up, with Facebook alerts popping up, or WhatsApp, or whatever it is. You need to shut down all of the distractions. Put your phone on flight mode, turn off your Wi-Fi, grab a pen and paper, or use your electronic device to be able to jot down notes, and take yourself off to a place where you are not going to be distracted. You don't want children coming up to you going, where's my shoes? Tap, tap, tap on the shoulder. Where's this? Where's that? You don't want people or colleagues coming up to you asking you for things. You need to be in a zone and in a place where you feel comfortable, you can be reflective, and you are distraction free. Now, there's also another little distraction that you need to free yourself from to be able to get yourself into the right headspace, and that is your own thoughts. So you'll see that in step 2, you need to get yourself into the present moment. Get yourself into a present state so that you can step away from all the thinking, all the doing. You can go back to that later. It's not going to go anywhere. And just allow yourself to sit, remain, and hang out for a bit in a very neutral space, so that you can start to listen to your own intuition. You can be very aware of what resonates with you when you're thinking through what goals you really want to concentrate and focus your efforts and energy and attention this year. So the third step, once you're in the right zone, you're in the present moment, you've been able to calm your mind down, and you're in an environment that also supports self-reflection, is to think about the core domains in your life. Now, we're all going to have different things that are important to us. Generally, there is going to be something around career, there's going to be something around family, there'll be something around relationships, and something around health. Now, these are not an exhaustive list. If you have some other domains in other parts of your life, maybe there's something about I know we talk about relationships, but generally we're talking about romantic relationships when we talk about relationships. There might be something about, socializing and friendship and that kind of stuff. So bring in whatever those core areas are that are important to you, that run, throughout your world and throughout your life. And I just want you to start to mind dump. I want you to start just to list and jot down everything in those areas that could be improved upon. So don't worry about how many things are going to be on this page. Don't worry that there's going to be too many goals and whether you're going to hit them, blah, 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 blah. Don't need to worry about that right now. Literally, I just want you to get from here to your paper or your sheet, whatever it is, the things that you could improve upon. Because what you're going to be left with is something that you need to refine. So don't go, a bit stir crazy or get a bit anxious that there's too many things on this list and it's making you feel uncomfortable. Just get it down. We'll come on to the refining process in the next step. So the next step is about cutting through the chaff. There's going to be, there's a lot of chaff out there. There's a lot of chaff in here, and there's going to be some chaff on your paper. And there's going to be a whole bunch of things that you could do. There's so many could do's in life, but there's only a very small amount of things that you're going to actually do, will do. So we need to separate the I could do this, but from I'm going to do this, that I will do it. So we've got to separate those things. And the way to do that is still in your mindful, reflective space, is to read through your list and start to circle and pick out the ones that really resonate with you. Now, how will you know? How will you know if it resonates with you? How will you know if it's something that you're motivated and determined to see through or not? Well, you're going to feel it, right? You've got to turn inwards on this. There's no external factors that are going to help you here. No one's going to tell you what you should be focusing on. Only you really know what you should be focusing on and what you want to focus on. So you're going to have to, this is why it's important to be in a mindful and reflective space, because you can become very aware of your feelings, of sensations when you're reading through all of the possibilities of what you could focus and improve upon this year. And there will be some that start to resonate. There were some that are going to evoke positive emotions that you are going to give you the determination and the willpower to set that as your why, so that you will see it through to the end. So pull out maybe 1, 2, or 3. There's no more than 3. You know, if you go, 10 goals for this year, you really are going to start to set yourself up to fail. What you want to do is pull out the low-hanging fruit. What is the most meaningful things that you can focus your efforts and attention on this year? Get those down. Get those to a state where you're feeling like you're on track and you're found a way to be able to reach those goals. And then if you feel like you want to introduce more things throughout the year, then great, do that. But you've got to get your framework and something, you've got to have a proven system that works for you before you start going overboard. So maximum of 3, limit it to 3. What are the 3 key things that I want to have achieved this year? And start to circle whatever those things are. So once you've got that, it might just be one thing. This year, I have one thing that I really want to focus on as a New Year's resolution. I have other goals, but I wouldn't call them a New Year resolution. So I've got one thing, and that's to boost my immune system. Last year, I had lots of colds, and I don't want to have them. It's bad for my health, and it's really bad for business. I speak for a living. If I'm full of cold and I'm with clients, it's really not pleasant. I don't feel great. It's not pleasant for me, it's not pleasant for them. So I had a goal around to boost my immune system. And there's some steps that I need to take for that. So step number 5 is about making it clear. Those 1 to 3 things, make it clear what it is that you are setting out to do. You need to write down what the end result is going to be, because you need to know when you have hit it. If it's too vague, then it may not be clear in your mind as to what will be in place for you to say, yes, I've achieved that. It may not be clear what you've got to do to achieve it as well. So there's many reasons behind vague goal setting. So get clear. You should be able to articulate it in just one clear sentence. If you've ever had an appraisal, you will know a SMART goal. And you know that it needs to be articulated. There needs to be something measurable in it. There needs to be a time in there. There's got to be certain factors in there to make it a workable goal. Now, you don't have to go quite down that route, but if you're comfortable with the SMART framework, then fine, use it. I like something a little bit simpler to that. I find that easier to work with. I think if you have a clear end result of what your goal is going to be, and you know when you've hit it, and you've got some actionable steps to get there, then that's enough for me. So that's what I would recommend. Hey, let's keep it simple. There's a lot of complicated things out there. We don't need extra complications in life. So let's just keep it simple. So have your clarity. So for me, with the example that I was using, so I've set a goal of to boost my immune system so that I have a maximum of 1 cold a year. Now, you might be thinking, well, why have you even put 1 in there? Why would you not say, I want to have, an amazingly healthy immune system so that I have no colds? Well, that would be great. But I also know that I'm quite prone to them. So I need to be realistic in what I'm setting here. And hey, look, we get sick from time to time, and not everything you can control in that way. So I'm just going to allow for 1 in the entire year, and that's it. If I have none, amazing. I'm not wishing for 1. I'm just saying it might happen. So I'm just saying that is a maximum. Anything more than that, then I will see that I haven't done the right things to be able to prevent that from happening, because that's what we're talking about here. So you've got clarity on what it is. The next thing that I did is I looked at what the actionable steps were. What's that goal? Now, this is going to be something evolving. This is when you're talking about something like health, or improving relationships. You know, there's a certain point that you want to, milestone that you want to get to, but let's be honest, it's going to be an evolving thing, because once you get there, you're going to want to continue in with it. You're not going to just say, oh, I've got there, let's just forget about that and stop, and then it all just goes back to wherever it was before. It's going to be an evolution. And something around health and you know, what the goal that I just shared with you is, it falls into that category. So I know certain steps that I need to take from where I am right now. I know that there's certain things that I need to know in terms of what I need to be eating, what I need to be drinking, maybe certain types of exercises or holistic well-being practices that are going to help me in this area to achieve that goal. So I started to list down the things that I know. And I know this is going to sound really silly, but one of my old bosses used to say to me, you don't know what you don't know. Yeah, okay, but that's obvious, right? But you can't start planning for something in its entirety if you haven't got all the pieces of the jigsaw. So just slot in what you do know, identify some of the gaps that you are aware of, but don't fret about it. Just know that there are things like, I just need to find that out. For example, I wasn't sure what kind of things I needed to inject into my diet to be able to have a good chance of boosting my immune system to bring it up to a level that could achieve my goal. So I spoke to a nutritionist. And the nutritionist gave me the information that I needed. So that kind of thing, right? Sometimes we have to turn to people or Google or experts or books or whatever to be able to fill in those gaps. So most people, when it comes to goal setting, that's what we're talking about here, most people stop there. They think, okay, I've got my goals, I know what they are, they're meaningful, I've got some kind of idea of how I'm going to get there, and the rest I can kind of slot in along the way. But this is part of the problem. Part of the problem is that they don't have a system in place or a workable structure that keeps it at the forefront of their mind. The moment that something else comes along to distract them, and let's be honest, there's a lot out there that can demand our attention and distract us, we're off. Attention has gone elsewhere. You've got to get into a practice of reminding yourself on a daily basis about these goals, because everything you are doing, every action you are taking, every decision you are making may impact that very goal that you set out to do. And of course, if it impacts it in a positive way, then you want to continue with that. But if it impacts it in a negative way, then you're going to be moving backwards. And if you're not conscious about this, then you're never going to know. It's going to be very unconscious to you, and you're going to, by 6 months down the line, a year down the line, you've moved the complete opposite direction to where you wanted to be, because you just didn't really have it at the forefront of your mind. And look, we're talking about 1 to 3 things here. We're not talking about a huge list of things. So every single day, you need to have them written down somewhere so it's easy for you to refer to. Have them in your phone, have them written down in a little journal, whatever works for you. As you're having your morning coffee, your breakfast, your commute to work, find a time that you can just slot it in that, you know, you have to do that thing anyway, and you can quickly just, you know, think about these goals and set yourself up for success for that day, get further, get closer to them. Read through them, read through those 1 to 3 things. What can I do next? What can I do today to get me closer towards this goal? And every time that I do this, it reminds me that I need to drink my water, which is almost finished, and a slice of lemon, because this is one of the things that the nutritionist told me that I should be doing if I want to boost my immune system. I need to be drinking water with fresh lemon. So I forget, right? I'm just like you guys. There's a lot of things going on. I kind of forget. We're very habitual people. The moment that we start to do something a little bit different, we have to really consciously apply ourselves and make a concerted effort to bring it in. Hi Scott, thanks for joining. So we have to really think about, you know, what we're doing, and we have to break that automatic tendency of our sort of creature of habit mode. So reminding yourself every morning of what they are, or reminding myself that I have to boost my immune system, that's what I'm supposed to be doing, then it tells me I need to go and make this. So little tiny things will create success for you. I know it sounds so simple, It is simple, but we have to break the automatic habits that we have formed for something different to happen. Otherwise, it would already be happening, right? You're injecting something new here. Now, the additional bit that I wanted to share with you, because they're the 6 steps, that's, you know, how you can set yourself up for success when it comes to your goal setting. But the extra bit that you can do is to keep yourself on track. So you're reminding yourself on a daily basis what these important goals are that resonate with you. And of course, as time goes on, there's going to be other things that kind of come and go, and things happen and things change. And maybe you have a setback. Maybe I don't drink my water. Maybe I have a really lousy diet for a week. Maybe I get sick really early on in the year, and I'm like, oh, that's my one cold for the year. Now I've got 8 months and I'm got to have nothing. You know, maybe there are things that start to happen and you start to regress. If that happens, that is not the time to give up. This is what we do, right? One thing doesn't go right, we think we failed, so we throw in the towel. Oh, I'm not good at this, I can't do this. But all we need to do is just acknowledge, okay, I've had a setback. We've got to be a little easy. We've got to go a little easy on ourselves. You know, if there was a good friend of yours who was a little bit down because they had done something that wasn't, you know, had taken them further away from a goal that was important for them to achieve, are you going to stand there and say, yeah, you're a failure, I think you should give up on that, I don't think you want to lose weight, I think you should just eat lots of cake and have a really unhealthy diet because you'll be happy doing that. You're a failure, and you won't, even if you tried, you can't eat healthily and you're never going to lose any weight. Are you going to say those things to them? I hope not. Otherwise, they question whether you are a friend of theirs. No, we need to treat ourselves in the same way. You know, what would you say to a friend if they were a bit down on something that had happened? You know, you're kind of going to say, I don't know, don't worry about it. No, try again tomorrow, or don't worry about that cake that you've just eaten. Switch your focus onto eating well from tomorrow, or whatever, or allow yourself to have one cheat day. It's okay to have a cheat day. We want to feel like we're winning and we're not depriving ourselves. So, you know, we can start to treat ourselves in the same way that we would a good friend, and give ourselves some friendly advice so that we're not beating ourselves up the moment that we come across some kind of obstacle that takes us backwards, or that we feel takes us backwards. That's the time just to accept it, accept that it's happened. Exercise a little bit of kindness and compassion to yourself so that it will motivate you to carry on, because you just need to remember why you set it in the first place. Oh yeah, it was really important for me to have good health this year because I really want longevity in life. I really want to enjoy myself. I want to see my children grow up. I want to see my children have children. I don't know, whatever it is, there's going to be a real reason behind why it resonates with you. So the real additional bonus that I can really share with you about how you can continue to reach those goals is really about not giving up when you take a step backwards. It's just a backwards step. If it's something that is true for you to achieve, you will get there. Just accept that it's a little bit of an obstacle that you've come up against. Move on, get over it, and then off you go and continue down the same path that you were on, because you were on it, right? It was just a little detour. You know, we think that we have to go from A to B and there has to be this straight line to get there, and that if we do anything other than A to B, then we've failed. We should know better. We shouldn't be zigzagging and going here and around here and there to get there. That means that we're not efficient. We don't know, we failed at something. You might circle back a few times, but it is the determination and the motivation for you to continue that is going to get you through to that end goal and get you over the line and achieve the very thing that matters to you. So don't throw in the towel early on or too early. Keep going. It's just a setback. That's all it is. You can reset at any time. So that's the 6 steps in a bit more detail. You know my New Year's resolution, so I'd love to hear whether you've set yours, whether there's any resolutions that you have set, you know, how they're going. Have you had a setback already on the 4th day of January? I guess you could, right? If most people fail, give in on their goals come February. Yeah, let me know. Drop it in the chat what kind of goals you're setting for yourself this year, what you're motivated to do on the back of what I've shared with you today. And look, if you need any help with setting your goals, then just drop me a note. I'll very happily help you, because I know it can be a very difficult area for people. You know, we're very we like to make very quick decisions and think that we should know things, and we end up making the wrong choices, which is why I've given you a mindful way to be able to set your goals. Once you set them in the right way, then it will be far easier to see them through to fruition. So that brings me to the end of what I was going to share with you today. So if you think there are other people that would love to hear this and really need some kind of structure to help them reach their goals this year, then please do feel free to share this post with them or invite them into the group. As you know, I would like us to grow the community so that we can share more together, so we can grow more together. And when we get to that 500 mark, then I have a special bonus for you that I will upload as promised, a complimentary course that I have sold out there to the general public, but I will give it to you for free as being part of this community as an exclusive bonus once we get to that number. So think about people that always, you know, find it difficult to see their goals, or you think they could really benefit from it. Just share it with them, you know, just help them out a bit, right? That's what we're here to do, spread a little bit of kindness at the beginning of 2019. So look, thanks guys, thanks for watching. I look forward to hearing what your goals are and how you're getting on with them. Please do share. If there's any other tips, by the way, that you have about goal setting or staying focused, please also write those in the comments. Let's share them together. I'm not saying this is the only way to do it. This is just what I know that works and how I found works for me, for clients. But if you've got some other little juicy little tips, please share them. Remember, we are here so that we can learn and we can grow together. So enjoy the rest of your day, whatever you're doing. Have a great weekend, and I will see you next Friday at the same time. Take care.